Call the March 4th Heritage Preservation Commission meeting to order. Liz, will you please take roll call?
Yep. Commissioner Dupay,
Present.
Nagiseti,
Here.
Phillips,
Present.
Pleiss,
Yeah.
Snyder,
Present.
Welbert, and Chairperson Coman.
Here. That moves us on to item number 3, adopting the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I will motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion made by Negasti.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, who was the 2nd?
I'll second.
Okay. And seconded by Place. To adopt the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All ayes, motion carries. That moves us on to item number 4, visitor presentation. Is there anyone in the audience or on Zoom that would like to speak about something that is not already on our agenda?
Krista, I don't have eyes on Zoom. Is there anyone? Okay, thank you.
Hearing no one, we will move on to item number 5, approving the previous HPC minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the December 3rd, 2024 HPC minutes?
Yes.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Motion made by Phillips, Commissioner Phillips, and
I second that.
seconded by Nagasti to approve the December 3rd, 2024 HPC minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All ayes, motion carries. That moves us on to item number 6, consent agenda. There are no consent items, so we will move on to item number 7, action items. In our action items, we are to appoint a chair and a vice chair of the Heritage Preservation Commission. Liz, will you provide a brief presentation of action item?
Yeah, I don't really have a presentation. We
Okay.
obviously have a lot of new members and so we have to make 2 motions this evening to formally kind of recommend to city council who we're nominating for chairperson and then for vice chair. So this is kind of an informal discussion between you all right now of who you'd like to nominate for chair and then who would like to be nominated for vice chair. And then when we're on an agreement of something, we'll make a motion on each of those appointments so that we can recommend that to city council to formally adopt. So I will hand the floor over to you guys to figure out who would like to step up to the plate on those positions.
I'm willing to be the chair again. If anybody else wants to make a motion on that or change that, that's fine too. There is also a vice chair.
Can we appoint people that aren't here?
Wait, people who are not
Ouch, that hurt.
meeting. I do think he has to buy into that.
Show
But I mean, if it's the ruling of the HPC.
Show
Then
up.
the next most senior person.
Yeah. Oh, I
Here.
see, for like for vice chair or something.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, it's not that hard. The chair is what I'm doing.
Yep.
And the vice chair would be in my absence, they would lead the meeting. So it's not,
I will,
and everything's written out, so it's not like you have to memorize anything.
well, I will defer to the more senior members, but if not, then I'm happy to do that.
To be a vice chair?
I do think Scott should be here. Like, if you're going that direction.
Sure.
He would have to agree to it.
Sure.
So-
Well,
So Denise off.
Want to put that out there.
does anybody have any input? More input?
I'm happy to be there and I mean, I agree, you being a chair. so,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for, yeah.
Can we make
Seems
a,
easy.
can we make a motion for Chris to be,
Yes.
return as
Yep.
chair of the committee?
Okay, so it says, yeah, would anyone like to make a motion to appoint? And then it says motion to appoint Christine Coleman, Commissioner Coleman, as chair for the HPC. Motion made by Dupay.
Yeah,
Was it- Oh, you're second. So motion made by Wilbert and seconded by
Place.
Dupay, or Place, I'm sorry. And I know I looked at it wrong, sorry. And because I wrote them all down. And Dupay, seconded by Dupay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All ayes, motion carries. And would anyone like to make a motion to appoint the vice chair for HPC? And we had Snyder, Commissioner Snyder, as saying that he would be the vice chair. Motion, can I get a motion for that?
I'll move to recommend Commissioner Snyder for vice chair.
Motion made by Phillips, seconded.
I second that.
Second by, I think, Augustine, to appoint Commissioner, my apologies, Snyder as Vice Chair of the Heritage Preservation Commission. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All ayes, motion carries. That moves us on to item number 8, discussion items. There are no discussion items, so we will move on to number 9, other business. Liz, would you happen to have other business?
I don't, other than I'm very excited to have all of the new members join us on HPC. We're very excited to have you and have new perspective and thoughts as we look at various historic projects happening in the city. I wish I could like lay out an entire itinerary of kind of what's to come. It's kind of, to be determined in the month prior or whatever. I do know, at least for next month, we don't have any historic applications that you'll have in front of you. And I'll be out of the office at a conference on our next meeting. So our following meeting would likely be in May. One thing that I am excited about that you guys will more than likely be a part of is we are working with the University of Minnesota. They have a resilient communities program with them, which basically partners you up with a student, either a grad student. I think it even might be undergrad students, but mainly graduate students get partnered up with a community project, specializing in a certain area of focus. So this will be our first time partnering with them within the historic preservation side of things, where we're hoping to get someone on board that can help with some historic research for properties within downtown Chaska. So James and Chris, you'll remember that we did a couple site walkthroughs of downtown of potential sites that would be eligible for nomination.
Do that again.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit that. And one of the things that we need to figure out as an HPC is properties that we want to prioritize to be looked at further, because there are quite a few properties in downtown that are not on our local nominations list. So in order for you to have kind of regulatory overview of historic properties, is they do have to be added to our nominations list and adopted by council. And so, and to further or expand that list, a lot of research needs to go into that to look at these sites. You also need buy-in from the property owner too, to add it to the nominations list and be considered historic. And I know that's the part we always hit a barrier with, is the research portion. So we're hoping to get a grad student on board from the U of M to help with that research. The last time we did a nomination was back in 2006 for the Idle House. So it's been quite some time since we've added to our nominations list. So I'm hoping with the help of this program, that we'll be able to make some leeway on that. So we'll certainly keep you guys updated regarding that. We just approved the description of that posting for the U of M. And it merely just means that someone has to say they're interested on it and sign up for it to be successful. So we'll keep you posted. Either way, I think now that we have new members on the HPC, we will more than likely kind of revisit that goal that we've had for a number of years, is looking at our nominations list and properties that we want to prioritize to further research and see kind of to bring them to that next step of nomination. So I'm excited to at least share that as an update. Yeah, and I mean, we always have stuff going on in downtown, so as things kind of come up, we'll keep you apprised of that too. Like we're working on streetscape elements in downtown with some of the brick columns. So I'll probably bring back some updates regarding that in terms of our consulting team working on designs and panels for those, which are exciting. Other than that, that's kind of just a little snapshot of some recent stuff that'll be happening. Otherwise, we'll meet if we have either kind of a work session or goal thing that we want to focus in on, or if we do have an application for a historic property, and then we would likely meet. But this commission in general doesn't meet as frequently as probably the other commissions, just because we need to have kind of an active project to be looking at. So that's what I'll say, just to introduce some of our newer members here. And again, thank you all for applying to be a part of the City of Chaska's commissions. I know you all had interest in other commissions even, so I'm very thankful that you guys were all willing to be a part of this commission, and hopefully you'll have fun with it. So thank you.
Okay.
And I'll just say, for the other business portion of our meetings, this is an opportunity for each member to either provide an update on something fun that you're doing in the city, or just something that you want to, give a highlight to. Some people on our planning commission will talk about like an event happening in the city that they're excited about, seeing progress on a certain project or something that they want to talk about. This would be that time. You don't feel obligated that you have to speak on something, but that's what the other business section is really for. So we just do like a round table, and if you have nothing to say, you just say, I've got nothing. You can move on to the next. Yeah.
Thank you, Liz.
Mhm.
Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Do you want to ask if anyone else?
Does anybody else have anything to say, I guess, for the other business? I just assumed that since they all were kind of blank stared that we weren't, so sorry.
Okay.
I'll just say that, as a new commissioner, I'm really looking forward to this. First and foremost, I think it's a great way to give back to the city of Chaska, but then also working with each of you. So super excited to be here.
Thank you. We feel the same about you.
Yeah, I would
Truly,
like to add
we do.
quick note, thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
It's almost more than 7 or 8 years been part of Chaska community. I always wanted to,
cool.
give something back to the community.
Sure.
And the one thing I would like to call out is I'm a pickleball player. So we have a beautiful 11 courts in Lions Park, and I play with 85-year-old to 80-year-old kids. So it's a pretty good game.
Oh, that's nice,
Pretty
yeah.
sport. I get to meet a lot of great people. So yeah, I would like to pitch in. And there is a Alzheimer's event coming up, and fundraising event in May. It's a pickleball, so it's just having fun more than raising.
Is that the Lions Park?
It's at Lions Park, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Does anyone else have any other business? Thank you all for sharing. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Place. And second?
I'll second.
Second made by Phillips. The Heritage Preservation Commission meeting on March 4th to adjourn is at 7:15.